Hey, and I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We are North Georgia's only live online morning show. It's the fake news invasion. If you've just joined us here this morning, BKP. Let me get out of the way here. Cole, we've got a fake news invasion. Is that? And there's the warning sign. What's the way? Hold on. You got a fake news warning sign?
Must not read. Warning contains triggers. Dog.
Oh my gosh. Dog whistles, everything, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. We got the fake news warning. Cole, let's make sure. Good morning. I'm your host, BKP. Let's make sure from time to time. Let me give you the cue when we need to throw the warning up on fake news. There's fake news invasion right there. Okay, get that off there. I can't look at all that. But I like the background. So it's the fake news invasion, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. It is Thursday morning. Let me tell you a little bit, Cole, I didn't get into 11 last night. I know I was out all night long. That's what Grandma would say. What are you doing out all hours of the night? 11 o'clock.
Come home and just turn on the light and sit in the chair.
Yeah, exactly. Cole had to come home, turn on a light, and Grandma's sitting in the chair. What are you doing out all night, hours of the night? So anyhow, I go up to Young Harris College last night. Here's the program. It didn't make it. I got all the stats in front of me. Here, Young Harris. I had a great time, Cole. So I go up there to see JB play basketball. JB, okay? Now, for those of us that know, first of all, let me say, I want to thank the president of the college, the president of the college, Kathy Cox, president of Young Harris College. I want to thank her for the opportunity to come up there, sit on the front row, and get an opportunity to talk with her and watch the Young Harris Mountain Lions play basketball. Go back to JB. Now, this young man here, before I get started, folks, right up there in Young Harris, you have an opportunity to watch Division II NCAA college basketball. And last night, Young Harris won 90-79 over Columbus State. And Cole, I just enjoyed it. But I go up there to see JB. Now, Cole, let me ask you a question. I know you don't have a mic on, but what do we know him? How do we know him or refer to him in the good old? How do we refer to him in the good old Gilmer County? What do we call him? Not JB. Is it Joe Bob?
Yeah, Joe Bob.
Joe Bob Charles, right?
Yep.
And you remember when he was in high school over at Gilmer County, the announcer would just stretch that out. Joe Bob Charles, 3. Remember it? You know, 3, right? He'd hit a 3-pointer. Joe Bob Charles, 3, right?
Yeah.
So last night I'm up there and JB, right? I'm talking to people, say, you know what, I'm coming up, I want to watch Joe Bob play. And people are looking at me like, okay, who? President of the college, you know, Kathy Cox. She said, okay. So I didn't realize he's now JB. That's JB. Yes, that's so. They're warming up. Put the team up there real quick. I get over. They're warming up. The team's shooting around. This is the team here. Great bunch of guys. Great coach. I watched the Lady Mountain Lions play also Columbus State. They didn't fare as well, but the guys won last night 90-79. So they're doing their shoot around, you know, warming up before the game, right? So I'm standing there and I yell, Joe Bob. He turns around like, okay, who's here that knows me as Joe Bob? Yeah, who is it? He turned around and grinned because he knows. And then I seen his mom and dad after the game, and I seen his
Charles.
Yes, I seen Kim and Mr. Charles after the game. They were there, and we were. She said, now I'm embarrassing the guy, but she said I still call him Joe Bob. And I was like JB. So anyhow, so it was great because let me just say here, the stats were great. You can go up there, and I tell you, for a fair, what I call a fair price, that you just can't beat. NCAA Division II basketball. They are in the Peach Belt Conference and undefeated. Young Harris is undefeated in the Peach Belt Conference. Some people are saying this is the best team they've put on the court since they've went to Division II. This is the best all-around team. Exciting. I mean, 90 points, they play basketball. But let me say, J.B. Charles came off the bench. He didn't start, but he came off the bench, and he put down 10 points. Joe Bob had 10. So I want to tell you that you can get their schedule. I got all their stats here. I was reading it. I was looking at their schedule. Right there, NCAA Division II basketball. And you probably have right in North Georgia here a team in the Peach Belt Conference that they're a contender. They're a contender.
They could beat a D1 school probably.
They're a contender. I'll tell you, I enjoyed that, and I want to thank again. Let me just give you a little background. The president of the college is Kathy Cox. Miss Cox is former Georgia Secretary of State from 1999 to 2007. And then she was Georgia Assistant Secretary of State from 1996 to 1999. She served in the Georgia House of Representatives, District 160 from 1993 to 96. She also was a reporter at one time. So her and I had a conversation about reporting last night in journalism. But anyhow, I want to thank her very much, president of the college. A couple more shout outs before we move on. Randy Dunn, the director of athletics, outstanding staff up there. Went up there, watched 2 games, met everybody. Randy Dunn, director of athletics, thank you very much for your hospitality. Assistant director of athletics and business, Robbie Thompson. And there was another young lady there, and I did not get your card, so I apologize. I don't have the name, but great, outstanding staff, great family atmosphere. Go up there, watch basketball in North Georgia. So I had a lot of fun. I get home. I watched JB play basketball. I really enjoyed that. I've missed watching him, and he come right off the bench, 10 points. They were hot. Okay, folks, now moving right along. Let's see. What do we have? Now, who hasn't, gone to, well, I got a word of the day. I'm everywhere today. I got a word of the day. We're going to have, let's see, this is our word of the day. Let me hear it.
Dossier.
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 Dossier, a collection of documents about a particular person, event, or subject.
Dossier.
Okay, got it, dossier. Folks, who hasn't, come on, who hasn't flown to Russia, stayed at the Ritz-Carlton, hired a couple hookers, said, hey, the president slept here, so, who hasn't done that, right? Everybody's done that, right?
Yeah.
Folks, fake news. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you have, this is the best for me. Let me tell you a little bit of what we're going to do today. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. You could text me, 706-889-9700, or you can email me, chief@fetchernews.com, 706-889-9700, and chief@fetchernews.com. I'm already being asked at 8:01 to keep calm, okay? So I'm being encouraged to keep calm today, Cole. All right. So, or email me, chief@fetchernews.com, 706-889-9700. Cole, yesterday, Donald Trump held a press conference.
Right.
Well, let me get back to this. I'm all over the map.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I got to practice my word of the day.
Dossier.
Dossier. Who hasn't? Went to the Ritz-Carlton, hired a couple hookers. Who hasn't? The president slept here. Man, let's see what he likes next time he comes to stay here. Okay? Who's been sleeping in my bed or doing other things? So, at 9 o'clock, for those of you out there, tell your friends, I'm going to give an update on my yesterday Fannin County report concerning my open records request. So I'm going to give an update. Not tomorrow, at 9 o'clock. I just got an email here. I'm going to do an update at 9 o'clock on my Fannin County open records request. So tell your friends that's at 9 o'clock this morning. At 10 o'clock, don't miss the Katie Sassine show. We'll have that back live here at 10 o'clock, Katie Sassine. If you've missed that, you can find that on our YouTube channel. She's been talking about whistleblowers this week. And then at 10:30, George will be back in here, our regular schedule from 10:30 to 11:30. And then at 11:30, we will go back to, the confirmation hearings for Rex Tillerson. Now, yesterday, Donald Trump held a news conference. Here's the one recommendation I have for Donald Trump with the war with the intel community that is being talked about out there, and they're trying to create this major rift. First of all, Donald Trump tweeted out 47 minutes ago, James Clapper called me yesterday to denounce the false and fictitious report that was illegally circulated, made up phony facts, too bad. So he got a call from Clapper yesterday. Folks, the story on Trump and the intel community and considering it war, my advice to Mr. Trump, please do not ride in a convertible in Dallas anytime soon. That's my advice. Please, Mr. President-elect, do not accept any trips to Dallas. Do not ride in any convertibles. And please don't do that anytime soon, okay? Just my advice, just saying. Yesterday, Rex Tillerson, before I get started here, Rex Tillerson was up there yesterday. You got the picture of the whole gang that was with Rex. Rex is the nominee for Secretary of State, okay? There's the whole gang. He's got Bob Gates, Sam Nunn, Ted Cruz, and I forget the guy's name on the end there. He's Arizona Senator. Is he an Arizona Senator? But anyhow, no, he's not an Arizona Senator. I forget. But yeah, Cruz, Tillerson, Sam Nunn, and Bob Gates. Now, who needs Democrats to go after Tillerson when they have Marco Rubio? All right, take that picture down if you don't mind. Yesterday, the fake news. Folks, they do not understand how to deal with Donald Trump because Donald Trump is a real person. They've never done that before. This is new to them. All of the media have been groomed through this culture of career politicians, this culture of how a press conference goes in their world. It's their world, and you and I are living in it. And you have somebody like Donald Trump that has come around and has flipped that around and said, hey, we're out here, okay? We are out here. You're living in our world, and this is how it will work. This is how my press conference will go. Yesterday, CNN decided to jump on the bandwagon. Now, before we get up on this, what took place? We have CNN jumped on the bandwagon, and Trump conducts his own sting operation to ensnare intelligent briefers. It says he caught them leaking himself, okay? President-elect Donald Trump described a sting operation he says he conducted after becoming infuriated by a series of leaks about his own classified briefing. Every time Trump has something, a classified briefing, or there's something in a classified intel, it seems that the fake news, they get it leaked out. Who's leaking this to the news? He says he decided to tell no one about a particular secret briefing, shielded even his longtime scheduling aide, Rona Graff, to rule out the possibility of leaks were coming from his staff. So he says he made sure it could not be coming from his staff. When word got out anyway, Trump concluded it was the intelligence community who was putting out information. He described the operation to be conducted after suggesting intelligence officers leaked a fake, dirty, now I got to get the pronunciation?
Dossier.
Dossier. Dossier. A fake, dirty dossier, okay, of information about him. Folks, during the campaign, there are people out there. Now, I'm not going to confirm this because we're not fake news here, okay? But I'm not going to say this is exactly what happened. But during the campaign, you have all of these Republicans that are running. You have you have the Democrats. So everybody's in this together, the Donald Trump takedown. So you have all these spies. I think there's a British spy. You have all these spies out there. There's like an old bar, a smoky bar where retired old spies go, to drink because, you know what, now it's all cyber attack. You just don't, they've been replaced with a computer. So you got old spies, and this is just joking around, but anybody will take on a private, they consider themselves private eyes, spies, whatever. Anybody will take on these assignments for a certain amount of money. Now, if you are a Republican, I want to see who paid for this information. Well, if you're a Republican and you're in the Republican primary, or a Democrat and you're colluding together to try to do anything to find out about Russia, Donald Trump, where he stayed, whatever it may be, you're going to pay this individual. If this individual comes back and says, I have nothing, that's a problem, because you say, hey, I've paid, $50,000, or I paid $35,000, whatever, big money, okay? Maybe more. I paid $1 million, whatever. I don't know. But the last thing you're going to do is call your client up and say, look, I have nothing. I mean, I got a couple hotel receipts. Yeah, the guy was here. He says no loans, absolutely nothing. Donald Trump said no, nothing. I have nothing there, okay? So anyhow, you have to write these people a report. So they don't give sources, they don't give facts, and this is out there on the internet, and CNN goes with it. This is, however, there were other aspects to Trump's engagement with the Russian authorities, one which bore fruit for them was to exploit Trump's personal obsession and sexual perversion in order to obtain suitable, all right, I don't know what that word, compromising material on him, according to sources, according to source D, where he or she had been present. Trump's perverted conduct in Moscow included hiring the presidential suite of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, where he knew President and Mrs. Obama, whom he hated, this is in the document, had stayed on one of their official trips to Russia, and defiled the bed where they had slept by employing a number of prostitutes to perform a blank, well, I'm going to say golden shower, it's out there, urination show in front of him. The hotel was known to be under FSB control, which surveillance, and microphones and concealed cameras in all the main rooms to record anything they wanted to do. Now, who hasn't stayed at the Ritz-Carlton in Russia, found out that the president stayed there, hired a couple hookers, came over and, said, I'm going to sit in the chair. I hate him so bad. Leak on the bed. Sorry, folks. I hope you're not offended. This is what they put out. Really? Really? Trump blasted the intelligence community at his press conference briefing, saying it was behind the leak of the dossier of information about him, but without revealing evidence. Now, yesterday he holds the press conference. I actually like this. We have been calling CNN the Clinton News Network, and I'm going to tell you something in just a minute. We've been calling them the Clinton News Network for how long now? Since Clinton was president. So CNN, he calls them out. This is a great moment. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to play that video, and we're going to talk about it. And I want you to make a note of today's date in this show of some things I say. Cybersecurity. I want to talk about cybersecurity. That's a big deal. Fake news, Give them the warning, Cole, so they know when they come back. There it is. There it is. I'm your host, BKP. We will be right back after this break. We'll talk about fake news. We will talk about this dossier. We will talk about Rex Tillerson. We'll talk about cybersecurity, you name it. And at 9 o'clock, I will update you on my open records request at Fannin County Commissioner's Office. Cole, take us a break. Good morning from the office, BKP.